My stomach drops, my throat feels tight, and for a minute I feel I can't breathe. I'm sweating all over, I'm feeling hot and cold at the same time, and my hands grip my knees even before I know that I'm scared. And when the air hostess offers me a glass of water, I spill it all over myself. I look around, and people are looking at me with surprise, some even with amusement. All of this because of this announcement?
Cabin crew, prepare for takeoff. Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts and remain seated.
Nothing has happened yet. The plane hasn't even started to move, and yet my body is reacting as though there is some big danger around. This is not something I chose, this reaction. It seems to be on automatic, and there's a part of me that's watching myself behave like this and can't do anything about it. What the hell is going on here? If you've ever asked yourself this question, then you need to understand this, because once you do, you're going to stop blaming yourself. We've all been under this false assumption that there is one single mind. This mind is logical, and therefore we expect it to behave logically at any moment. Now, there is one part of the mind that is logical. It's thinking. It's called the analytical mind. That mind is you and me. It looks at a current situation. It decides what's the best thing to do or the best way to react to that situation. But the false assumption is that this is the only mind. It's not. There are actually two minds. The other mind is called the reactive mind. And as the name suggests, that mind just reacts. Its purpose is to help us to survive. The problem, however, lies in the content of this mind, which is made up of recordings of old incidents of overwhelm. Anytime a person is overwhelmed, whether it's by pain, fear, loss, or some big sorrow, the reactive mind takes over, the analytical mind gets shut off because the two minds never work together, and then the reactive mind records everything that happens in the incident. Now here is where it becomes very interesting. Sometime in the future, when the reactive mind perceives a threat in the environment, it takes over the control. It now uses a recording. It triggers on that recording, and the recording is controlling our reactions. Not what's happening around us at the moment, but what is there in the content of the recording. Now that's a lot to understand, so let's unpack this together, because getting a full understanding of this is what we're going for. So I'm going to use an example. Now, let's say there's a girl and she's 5 years old, and for her 5th birthday, her parents take her to the local fair, and she's very excited, as children are, and then she sees the merry-go-round, and now she really wants to get onto that merry-go-round. So daddy picks her up and places her on one of those horses, and she's really enchanted by them, and she's really excited. She's enjoying herself, and the person who's there in charge of the merry-go-round says laughingly, "Everybody, fasten your seat belts. We're about to take off." And at that exact moment, this girl slips and she falls off the horse and she falls on the ground. What a moment of shock. Her stomach drops, her throat feels tight, and for a moment she feels she cannot breathe. And the reactive mind has taken over. It's faithfully recording everything that's happening there. The sight, sound, smells, sensations, what other people are saying, conclusions that this girl has made about herself. Everything gets recorded. In the book Dianetics, such recordings are called engrams, and these engrams are stored in a separate file cabinet, something that this girl cannot access on her own. Fast forward to when this girl is 25, she's now a very confident young girl, and she steps into the plane, and the captain makes his announcement: "Fasten your seatbelts." Now, the reactive mind is constantly on the lookout for perceived threat, and it doesn't really care whether this woman is now much older, she's wiser, and in fact, this is a completely different situation. All it says is, this sounds familiar. The last time I heard it, it hurt. React. And so it steps in, and the analytical mind goes out the door. And there this girl is, this 25-year-old woman now, replaying the entire incident of the merry-go-round, which happened when she was 5. Now, of course, she realizes, or at least a part of her realizes, that this is very irrational, but there's nothing that she can do about it because she's not able to access this file cabinet where the recording is kept. And all the other coping techniques that she's using, they don't access this file cabinet either. It's like they're trying to control the irrational by something that is rational or logical, and it never works. So she's left feeling this anxiety. She's ashamed of herself, and she'll probably find excuses like, it's probably because my boyfriend was mean to me just before I stepped into the plane, and that's what triggered this reaction. She's blaming everyone and everything but the right thing. So here's the whole mechanism of this mind. 1, there is a moment of overwhelm. It could be pain, it could be fear, loss, sorrow. 2, at this point, the analytical mind shuts off and the reactive mind takes over and makes a full recording of this incident, including sights, sounds, smells, sensations, any pain, anything the person heard, any conclusions the person made about himself or herself at that time. 3, sometime in the future, the person has a similar kind of an incident. There's something in this environment which is similar to one of the recordings, or the content in one of the recordings. 4, at this point, the reactive mind recognizes this pattern, it recognizes this similarity, and so it steps in. Analytical mind shut off, reactive mind takes over the control of the person. It's also important to remember that people don't have just 1 or 2 of such recordings. There are many of them in the reactive mind. So what does that mean for us? Well, it's not that you're stuck with this reactive mind and its content for all times. You can handle it by looking at what there is there, by looking at the content, and that's what Dianetics does. It's a very simple technique, safe and very efficient, and it helps to get rid of all the stuff in the reactive mind. I'm learning more and more about it, and I'm quite amazed at how much shifts when you see it. The important thing to remember is that when you get rid of the reactive mind, you're not losing any part of your personality, because all that was never you. You were always the logical, calm, happy person who knew exactly what to do at any given moment of time. So the one thing for you to remember next time you react is, this is not me. I'm not broken. I'm not toxic. I'm not bad at healing. This is all the reactive mind, and something can be done about it. So if this made sense to you, then you definitely want to look at this next video where we look at exactly how these recordings are made and how to recognize those that are controlling your life.